So the Phoenix Suns are continuing their win as many games as possible this season approach by signing Jamal Crawford to a one-year deal. Of all the teams that I would have thought could give Jamal Crawford a chance, I don't know if the Suns were really on there just because of the amount of wing players they have. But when you look at their lack of a point guard, you could argue that they need as many ball handlers as possible, and Jamal Crawford can definitely still handle the ball, and sure, he's a shoot-first kind of a guy, but he can make some plays for teammates, and he's been one of the better guys in the league at not turning the ball over while having a pretty decently high usage rate throughout his career. So, I guess it makes sense. Eli Okubo looks pretty okay, but, if you weren't expecting him to help this team win right now as a rookie, and I think that's fair, then Jamal Crawford could take some of those minutes, and of course this is only a one-year deal. And then you obviously have the leadership aspect of Jamal Crawford, where he's a smart dude, he's been around the NBA for a long time, he can help out some of these players for one season between him and Trevor Ariza and Ryan Anderson and all that. Now, do I think Jamal Crawford, the basketball player, is actually going to help the Suns win games? I'm going to lean on the side of no, because while Jamal Crawford can be exciting to watch and he occasionally will have some big performances, at a certain point, it becomes too much with the guy, and over the last couple of seasons, I think that's been the case, where if you look at basically any NBA stat that you would use to determine how valuable a player is, pretty much all of them will tell you that Jamal Crawford has gone over the hill in terms of the shoot first, take contested jump shots angle. We can start with his three-point shooting. It was not good for the T-Wolves, and outside of 1 year with the Clippers where it was at a little over league average, that was beginning to taper down from his Atlanta days as well. So if his threes are not going to go in, then I think it's really difficult for Jamal Crawford to be efficient, because he has had like 2 seasons of his career where he's actually had a respectable field goal percentage, which didn't always kill him because, again, he made his threes and he got to the free throw line a lot, and he didn't turn the ball over. But if those threes aren't going to drop, then we're going to have a problem, because his abilities of beating defenders in one-on-ones, like, it's still there, but it's not where it used to be, to where he would be shooting like 4 or 5 free throws a game. And if that's not going to be where he scores at least some of his points to make up for some of the shots he's going to miss, and he's going to miss a lot of shots because he's Jamal Crawford and that's what he does, then that's going to be pretty difficult. You put on top of that while he doesn't turn the ball over a lot, he doesn't make a whole lot of plays for his teammates. I mean, he does, like, occasionally. I don't want to act like the dude is unable to pass the ball, but he's definitely a shoot-first guy. And there are times when he misses open teammates. There are times when he just chooses to take some contested shot over making just the next play, the next pass, if you will. And then his defense has been pretty rough for a while now at this point. And if you look at on-off numbers and all that stuff, even last year with the T-Wolves, it wasn't good. I mean, the Wolves were pretty bad when they didn't have the starters or Tyus Jones with the starters. I mean, pretty much every other lineup, including lineups with Jamal Crawford, were negatives. Now, at the same time, to be nice to Jamal, when he played with the starters, he was actually able to make that team at least like average, and that was actually with him replacing Jimmy Butler. So that's actually a not bad sign. You take out that best player on the Wolves, you put Jamal Crawford in there with the rest of the guys playing most of their minutes, and the team was actually still kind of respectable. So maybe there's a chance, but at the same time, I'm not exactly going nuts. I guess if I can envision how the basketball stuff would work, DeAndre Ayton could certainly set screens for Jamal, and he could take some pull-up mid-range jumpers or the occasional three if his defender can't get across the screen at all. You could also see big guys step up on Jamal because they respect his shot, maybe a little more than they actually should. And that can result in some switches, and then DeAndre Ayton can get somebody easy to bully down on the low block. Of course, Jamal has to actually pass the ball to Ayton, which isn't always the case with him, but yeah, I could see that being a thing. I guess his spacing is better than it probably should be, so when Devin Booker is doing whatever he's going to be doing, isolations, pick and rolls, anything, same thing as TJ Warren, then I guess Crawford can provide some spacing for that as well. Now, of course, the Suns do have a new head coach, who I have never seen coach at NBA or any basketball. So, I mean, he could be a really good X's and O's guy, and maybe he'll have a way for Jamal Crawford to not just be in one-on-ones all the time. Because if Jamal is in one-on-ones a lot, I think that could hurt the flow of the team. One, because I don't think he's going to make a lot of shots, but also because, like, TJ Warren is an isolation guy. Devin Booker is an isolation guy. Josh Jackson is not, but Josh Jackson just standing in the corner watching Jamal Crawford do stuff is probably not what you want, right? So, it'll be interesting. I think there could be some good stuff and some bad stuff. If I had to make a gut reaction, then I think there's going to be a little too many bad things, but it's also a one-year deal, and I have to assume it's not that much money, so I don't think Crawford is the kind of guy who would really freak out. Seems like he's a pretty mellow, laid-back guy who understands, like, the best thing for the team. It's kind of weird. I feel like Jamal Crawford is really good at recognizing what's best for the team off the floor, but he's not that good at doing it on the floor because of all the bad shots that he takes. I don't know, he's a weird player. Now, again, will there be like some Jamal Crawford highlights and 4-point plays and a couple really nice crossovers and stuff? Yes, that's always a thing with him. And then some people will think that that means he's still pretty good, but then they don't see the other 3 games before that one where he went like 2 for 11 from the field with 1 assist. So, yeah, it's the Jamal Crawford experience. I think that's it. There's going to be some good, some bad. In my opinion, a little too much of bad, but in the end, it's whatever.